Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel. Lucky that we're all here because there was a high chance of us all being blown off this weekend.
Okay.
Very windy.
Oh yeah, it was.
Very windy.
It was windy. I didn't really see any, I know there was damage done. Power lines down.
Yeah. Storm Dara doing his mischief.
Dara. The only Dara I recognise is Dara O'Shea.
Yes.
And the curly-haired fella from the Chase.
I don't recognise Dara O'Shea anymore because he's wearing a weird headband.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's got short hair.
I think maybe it's a kind of bandage. I don't know.
Well, that's okay, isn't it?
But it's black, so I'm not sure what's going on.
He's got medical,
Instagram
benefits.
keeps trying to sell me a headband you wear at night that pipes music in your ears. Seen this?
What, instead of headphones?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know.
Does it go over your ears?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
The main thing I get advertised these days, no word of a lie, is that and pies. Get a lot of pop-ups for pies.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you just looking up pictures of food on the internet a lot?
I don't believe I've ever Googled pie.
You're talking about pie to someone, or you're connected very closely to someone who is looking up pies.
Do you think us doing this podcast
Is
really...
your wife looking up a lot of pictures of pies?
Maybe she is. My son's doing GCSE maths, so maybe he's having to spelling pie, the maths thing, wrong.
I think he needs to concentrate on English a bit more.
Perhaps he does.
It'll all make sense when you open up your Christmas presents on, December 25th.
Yeah.
And you've got, Frey Bentos gift box, set.
I've got a pucker.
Yeah.
You've
got a special pie baking oven.
What is isn't that just an oven?
No, I don't know. Is there not those sort of things?
I know you get like pizza ovens.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably that. It's probably a USB pie oven that you're getting for Christmas.
Yeah, I hope that's true. And I can warm up
It's the only logical explanation.
Is Frey Bentos the one that comes in a tin? What's
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Yeah. It's the only logical explanation. It's very confusing. By the way, I hope you didn't think I was being crude earlier. That was a direct reference to when Motson was commentating at Exeter City.
Oh, yeah.
He said...
Who says I'd come looking for
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
That
Yeah.
one. If you don't know that...
If you don't know
listen back
that,
to
what are you
all
doing?
our
Throw your shirt
previous
away.
episodes.
Yeah, so I'm getting pie adverts, and do you know the main thing I Google is what other teams' shirt sponsors do?
Oh, yeah, okay.
For example, Vita or Vita, Stockport County this weekend.
Yeah.
It's not clear. Finance of some kind.
Oh, they're so boring these days, aren't they?
Rubbish. I want a scaffolding company.
I know, and I think it was better when it's better in League Two, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
like the conference, because it's more like it is
Local companies.
Yeah, like I like to when Cheltenham who had Johnny Rocks, the limo, just
The
a
limo
guy
guy.
who's got a limo company.
Johnny Rock Stadium. He
Yeah.
went all out, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Fair play to him. He's a local boy done good.
By the way,
We've got a kind of we've got one. I mean, it's a bit more exciting motorbike parts,
Yeah.
but it is just some big company that happens to have a warehouse near here. It's more exciting than finance or one of these companies you don't even know what they even do. Like
Yeah.
all the Premier League ones, it's like you look at that up. What is Team Viewer? And it turns out it's just nothing really.
Yeah, I've got it on my work laptop, and it means that the IT guy can log in from Honiton
Right.
and fix stuff.
Fix stuff or monitor what you're looking at.
Yeah, he's just getting a lot of pie content.
Yeah. Lots of emails saying, hello, pervert. It could be his fault.
Yeah, if you're listening, Steve,
You're known by name, do you? Get your own...
stop looking at my pies. Yeah, I do know him by name.
Okay.
It's not nothing against Steve, by the way. He's a good guy.
Well, you don't know that. It's probably not even his real name.
No, I've met him. He's nice.
Oh, you've met him?
Yeah.
What, the guy from Team Viewer?
No, he just uses TeamViewer to log in.
Oh, right, okay. This is just a crackdown from the company that you work for to make sure you're being productive.
Jokes on them. I'm recording a podcast.
Yeah.
They don't even need to investigate. They can
This
just
is
Google
This
it.
is during work hours.
It's during work hours. I'm on my lunch break. If anyone's worried, they all support Argyle, see, so I'm safe.
I mean, if it is his lunch break, listener, let me tell you, he's not eating anything.
I've had my pie already.
Yeah, he's Googling a lot of pies. I don't see much evidence of any being eaten.
It's fine. I've got my USB pie oven. It's plugged in at work.
The other day, you turned up for this podcast and you're eating the vegetarian equivalent, the vegetarian version of a packet of Fridge Raiders.
I really regret
Which,
that
you
still.
know-
I can still taste them now. That was weeks ago.
Which, if it isn't a cry for help, I don't know what is.
They were disgusting. What I'm a sucker for is I go to the vegetarian fridge section and I'm always like, I look in there like I used to look in like the shop window of curries
Yeah.
and be like, oh, what's new?
Or Pram and Toy.
Pram and Toy. And now I go to this is terrible indictment on my life. Is I Google pies and look in the veggie fridge. But anyway, if there's anything new, I'm intrigued by it. And that just got me. How can this exist? Vegetarian Fridge Raiders. Let me tell you, listener, absolutely the work of Satan. Awful. Satan wouldn't touch it. It sullies his good name.
We can't do a comparison because you are the only one who's tried vegetarian Fridge Raiders,
Yeah.
possibly in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm
Like
the
I
only
might be.
person who's tried a pizza twist, possibly in the world.
Yeah.
So we can't say which one's worse.
No, we can, because Kenny's been in touch to say he tried a pizza twist and he quite liked it. 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to dispute that. I have had one. You can't. What's 10 then? Because if I'm thinking that.
No, what's 1, surely?
Well, what's 1? But what's Kenny's 10? Because to me, that I would say if that's his 6,
Yeah.
then his 10 must be something like dinner at the Harvester. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's where I would put it if the pizza twist is a 6. But then my scale would have to go up to at least 50, whereas Kenny stops at 10, leading me to believe he's never eaten any nice food.
Oh, Kenny, treat yourself. Go somewhere nice. I can recommend a good pie. My mum and dad always go to the Toby Carvery.
Yeah, well, that surprises me, given that they had that norovirus outbreak.
They don't go to
Because-
that one. They're not
because someone had
stupid.
puked behind a curtain and no one cleaned up for 6 months.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. They go to the one in Lympstone.
Yeah, but I just feel... Okay, Lympstone, probably the standard's going to be a bit higher because it's posh.
Yeah.
But I just feel like after that happened, the whole chain is written off.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
not
agree
going
with
there.
you.
If I'm going in, I'm checking behind every curtain before I eat.
Well, it's important, isn't it?
Shall we mention... I was going to talk about peaked beanies, but we've already wasted enough time. Let's talk about Stockport County away.
So, it was a horrible day, wasn't it? An absolutely fair play. 500 City supporters went.
More than that, 600 and something.
Flipping heck. I mean, it's unbelievable
Yeah.
effort, isn't it?
I think apparently one of the coaches didn't make it as well. So
no.
I don't know if that meant 600 odd tickets sold or 600 odd people there. But either way, they look like there's loads of them.
Yeah. Amazing.
Good
Amazing.
business.
Because it was horrible. Obviously, there was every chance it was going to be called off. Liverpool-Everton was called off, wasn't it? And Cardiff was called off and
Argyle.
Argyle. So that's amazing effort. And you were richly rewarded with no shots on target.
Yeah.
Which
But you did get to see a competent-ish first half. Albeit one with very little to get excited about.
Yeah.
Caleb Watts headed wide from close range.
He headed really wide.
Really wide. Nothing else. We limited them in the first half to, few chances. They did have there was one where a guy was Louis Barry squared the ball into the box and a guy put it wide when he could have done a lot better. I say a guy because I don't know his name. Although they have got a player called Collar. And I don't mean like the German sort of spelling. That sounds like a football. I mean collar, like
Like
collar
shirt.
on a shirt. Yeah.
He's hard to tie down, isn't he?
Very well. Yeah. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. We dealt with him all right. Barry, I think he's a very, very good player.
Well, we
He's,
talked about his goal return.
Yeah, he's good. He is good. You can tell. He did get the goal late on, but yeah, we did kind of keep him at bay, and we, managed to. Coldwell said we controlled the game, and I think that's sort of true to a certain extent, while still at the same time creating, almost, just nothing at all, and
Well,
yeah, I mean, we are on a very tough run, but yeah, there's no Jake Richards in this squad.
No.
Something that the last couple of games we'd seen him play quite a bit and looked quite exciting and like he could create some stuff. Wasn't even on the bench.
No McGuinness.
Neither was big old Kevin McDonald.
No.
McGuinness was on the bench. Ali starting through the middle. And Ryan Wood's back from suspension, although he did pick up another yellow card in this game, so getting ready for the next one.
Yeah. More yellow cards than birthdays, Ryan Woods.
Yeah.
Shop.
Oh, I see, but yeah.
It's not good. More yellow cards than the card gallery. Gone.
Yeah.
Lest we
I
forget.
don't even know what card shops there are now. People just buy them from...
More yellow cards than streamers. That's the joke.
Streamers are still going, yeah.
Streamers would be a good shirt sponsor.
I'd love that. I would absolutely love it if we're sponsored by streamers. That'd be amazing.
Seems unlikely in the current era. Anyway.
Although if we carry on like this, we may well be looking for some sort of scaled down sponsorship.
Well, again, it's a perfectly respectable result. Like we've been saying, 2-0 against Stockport away, team that can score for fun.
Yeah.
Sounds perfectly reasonable. The concern is, again, and I was thinking more and more about this, because people are getting on Coldwell's back. Some people are starting to, aren't they? It's been a while since a win in the league, and people are questioning some of the purchases, some of the squad additions. What we've got there is some really, really good defensive players.
Yeah.
Some of whom we own, some of whom we don't own.
Yeah, ironically enough, Kramer at fault, own goal and gave away a penalty. But yeah, on
That's
the
not
whole,
his usual,
he's just won Player of the Month.
Yes,
and he's been excellent all season.
Yeah, John Lee's been excellent. Obviously out injured. Sweeney continues to be real solid player at the back. I know he's not Coldwell's player. Gary's brought in lots of good goalkeepers, and I'll get it wrong when I say which ones he's brought in. But obviously this year and last year, 2 excellent goalkeepers.
Yep.
So you look at that and you think, well, yeah, he knows what he's doing at the back. He knows how to make a solid team.
Fitzwater's looked good when he's played as well.
Purrington was a good addition. And then going forward, actually, you think these are good players. It's just not clicking. And I'm sure he's embedded in them a cautious approach.
Yeah.
Because he was cross, wasn't he, after the game? Disappointed, I think the word he used. We're just not creating the chances. We're not using the possession we've got. I mean, he was talking like we controlled the whole first half. And I don't know, but it's true to say they didn't score till like the 68th minute or something. So, in a way, he's not wrong. But in games like that, it looks like we'll never score.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't just look like it. It's not like, oh, the striker can't hit a barn door. The striker is in no position, whoever it is, whether it's Ali or Bird or McGuinness or anyone else, never looks like they're in a position to be able to score.
Well, I think, yeah, the system, it's an interesting one because it's a combination, I think probably largely the system and also the personnel. Now, all of this is all kind of based on the fact that we've had to play in our last handful of league games all the top form teams in a row.
Yes.
And we've got 1 point out of it, basically.
Yes.
Which was was that Wickham game.
Which, by the way, for 35 minutes, we were excellent.
Yeah.
All gung-ho and everything.
I think it's if you're going to play this kind of the way Coldwell plays, which is a safety first, it is risk averse, and it's not at all gung ho.
Yeah.
Then to get any real return out of that, you got to have some real kind of magicians, I think, and like very, very high quality attackers in there. And I think we've got good attackers for this level, but ones that against really solid teams with massive budgets, etc. No one we've got in those areas can force the issue, So when the system doesn't provide a large volume of chances, which it just doesn't,
or even a low number of quality chances,
you then haven't got anyone. The only way that could kind of work would be if you had someone who was just going to absolutely is just too good that can make something happen, or like kind of at odds with the system, like with real quality. And that's partly down, we have the ones we have got like that, we always mention like Mitchell and that kind of thing. He's obviously been out. There's other players that have missed all of these tough games, so there's loads of different kind of aspects to why this isn't working. But I think at heart it's a combination of, like, Josh McGuinness is, I think, against the bottom half of the table can do well, and against the top half of the table isn't good enough. I think that's just indicative of where we are as a team, which is we are not only is it what we're aiming for, to be a mid-table League One team, it also is what we are.
Yes,
the mid-table League One team. We are a bit in danger because obviously remember what happened last season. I know it's a different squad. We are a bit in danger of getting sucked into, things. If we don't now kind of pick up against, we've got a load of games now against the teams around us. If we can't recover some sort of form, which I don't think there's any reason to think we can't, then we are in danger of getting pulled into a bit of a relegation scrap. But that does really remain to be seen. And there is some evidence to suggest that won't happen, which is that we have scored goals against Chesterfield in the FA Cup. I know they're not in our division, but they're
of a standard.
The only team we've played recently that aren't right up the top of League One. So we'll see. And also it's a personnel issue because I think we just don't. Ali played through the middle. You might get a good game out of him here and there, but again, against a very experienced, consistent, solid defence and midfield of a good team, very unlikely. And played out wide, much prefer him out there. I just feel like the chaos he causes out wide is much more valuable than having him through the middle where it's just not happening against those teams,
But that's kind of speaks to the thing I'm slightly... This isn't me telling Gary Caldwell how to do it. He's made his choice. He's decided this is the right way to go. But he plays in numbers at the back, right? So we very rarely get caught at the back because 3 centre-backs and essentially 2 banks of wing-backs, essentially. So a winger takes on our wing-back. There's usually support for that to stop that from happening. That's why we're not conceding many goals.
Yeah.
What he doesn't do then, in return, is build on the numbers up front.
Well, I think the idea behind that is the McMillan in the inverted role. I think that's the idea. And I don't think it's a bad one. But in theory, I don't think it's a bad idea. Whether we've not actually got the personnel to be able to pull that off again, that's the question for me. And it's also a little bit of a one-dimensional idea. It's almost as if that doesn't work, then we are limited to set-piece opportunities and stuff,
And McGuinness is a player that the ball sticks to. Pretty much. I mean,
that's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
All the rest of them, they're not that kind of player. Like you said, they're almost merchants of chaos, particularly Niskanen and Ali.
Well, I think as well, you've got the issue of Aitchison, who, again, is the safe bet in that position because he's going to provide you with a lot of industry, cover, hard work, but in terms of creativity is incredibly low on the on numbers wise, really is. And that's a role that you would think maybe is that you'd have the person in there who's going to be the one to the link to try and make some things happen. Like we have seen Doyle in there, but we've seen Doyle used less and less. And when he does come on, Caldwell's been playing him deeper. Coming on for Woods and stuff, but I don't really think suits him. But maybe that's just a way of. We've got some centre midfield positions kind of either redeployed to other places in the pitch, McMillan or Francis. So then, and Woods needs to come off because you're going to get sent off. So I get why he's doing it, but I don't think that's how you get the best out of Doyle. And also, we could do with someone like that instead of Aitchison at times. We've seen Aitchison perform really well against lower division clubs. Maybe just the way it has to be, We're not going for promotion. We're not going for playoffs. We're going for mid-table. And then if by chance, this has all clicked and done really well, maybe we might get, the idea would be,
push above 10th.
Push above. Maybe we could, if we get really lucky and everything goes our way, maybe we could bother the playoffs. But the reality is, we're going for mid-table.
Yeah, and I suppose that's hard as supporters to watch.
It is, because you go to football to be entertained, and that is absolutely categorically not happening.
No. You 600 people go to Stockport.
You want both, don't you? We want mid-table security. We want this League One security. We want to slowly build and become this team, and it's working. But at the same time, it's hard to kind of. You want both because you understand that that's a good long-term plan, and you're happy about that. But at the same time, day to day, when you're going to a game of football or watching a game of football, you want to enjoy it, and it's quite difficult to if you're not having a single. You're having 2 touches in the opposition's box.
Yeah, that was the stat on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
One of which is Watts' header that's landed.
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is what it is. I'd imagine we're in this situation for as long as Gary Colwell stays in position. I don't think he's going to throw away that blueprint anytime soon.
No, he isn't going to. But we have, on the whole time he's been here, it's been not great to watch. It's hardly attacking football. But there has been periods when it's been better. And I do think that possibly with some of these players back, Richards is obviously kind of being, managed.
Yeah.
He's not going to play every single game. But with him in there, I do think he's someone, I know he's very young, but that can provide a bit of a spark. Mm-hmm. And Mitchell obviously has had a setback, but did come on at the end of the Stockport game. So with him back in there, and with Reece Cole also came on, there's something that we could be getting more. And again, we've got to play against teams where it's never going to be fully entertaining. We're not going to be an attacking team ever. So against the teams that are really difficult to beat, we're not going to see any of it. But we might see some if we have those players back and are playing against teams who are struggling.
I mean, Wickham on Tuesday was interesting because that first 20 minutes, half an hour was more attacking than I've seen us in a long time.
Yeah, well, we saw the best of it and the worst of it, didn't we? The first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the worst of it being the first 10 minutes of the second half.
Yeah.
Where we were just,
couldn't get a foot on it.
And just sat back, and thought, let's try and soak this up, and just couldn't do it.
Do you know what we're also lacking, which you wouldn't necessarily say, but we've not got a real person of pace. Or if we have, they never start firing off the bit. Like Niskanen is probably the fastest, or Harper maybe. But they're being if they counter-attack, because they sit so deep initially, they're being asked to run like 100 yards.
Yeah, I also just think, that we're not getting the bigger teams. We have seen Niskanen create multiple attacking situations down the right-hand side. Whether he does anything with it when you get down there, or whether the people in the middle do anything with it when he crosses it, is another question. But we have seen before this run, him get down that flank to the byline an awful lot.
Yeah.
But he's someone who's barely got the quality against the lowest on the ball. He's a great player, and I'm a big fan of Niskanen, but barely got the quality against. He's got League Two kind of like end product, but
he's got kind of Premier League endeavour, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he is quick, but yeah.
But if he was starting on the halfway line, you'd have a better chance of his pace still being quick when he got to the penalty box.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting what we do in the transfer window, because in a way, is it even like, what do we even need anyone? On paper, we kind of don't even need anyone, which leads you to think it was just a personnel issue then. But I suppose the only thing we could really do personnel-wise is just kind of trade someone we've got for some, not trade, but I mean, you just replace somebody with somebody better. Like I would, like you could get someone who plays the same as Josh McGuinness but is better than him, or you could replace Aitchison with someone who does that but better than him, or Niskanen or whoever else. But that's very unlikely to happen, isn't it? Because that's just not how it works. We've got those players,
I think McGuinness is onto hide into nothing. I think the way we play, he's so often the ball's hit at his head or his chest, and there's no one within 20 yards of him.
But yeah, again, I think it's both in the fact that I don't think he's good enough to do it, especially against the good teams, and also you're right, the system's hardly set up for him to succeed.
No, I'd agree. I don't know what else he could do. I honestly don't. I think there's a real excellent player in there, but the things required of him in this team.
I just think we're up against opposition where he just isn't cut out for it. 10 years ago, maybe. And if we were in League Two this season, great. But I just don't know if he's, again, in a completely different system, you'd get a lot more out of him.
Yeah.
Even against opposition, like, if we were creating a massive overload of chances, which would have to probably be at the expense of some sort of defensive solidity. Basically, it's a very boring type of football to watch.
Yeah.
It's a very boring position to be in, where you're probably not going to get relegated, but you're absolutely no hope of actually doing anything.
So, I mean, what was the deal? Because we heard several times that McGuinness was never supposed to play this much.
Yeah.
So who was it supposed to be? Because we were also told Jay Bird wasn't coming in as the finished product. Ali, we know, we bought from non-league a year ago. Like, who was it supposed to be in that position? Was it supposed to be Mitchell? But he was injured a year ago.
Well, he's not a centre forward.
No, I know. But were they trying to play a false nine? I just don't understand what else was supposed to happen. Because if you weren't hitting the ball to McGuinness...
Well, what he got is a series of gambles, which is what we have to operate under at this level, because we can't buy some brilliant striker unless we get incredibly lucky, which is what you kind of go for when you sign someone like Ali.
Yeah.
And you just hope that things work out for him. And they are to a certain extent, but not as well as they could have done if you got really fortunate and he'd really taken to it.
Yeah.
You've got Sonny Cox, who... in the current system, has no chance. Again, similar to... And then with McGuinness, a bit more chance, because you think at least he can kind of cause problems and stuff. And Jay Bird, another kind of like... He's back up, basically, and you just kind of hope that he can do quite well. And, I think, to be honest, Jay Bird so far has kind of... apart from... He's kind of basically lived up to what his role was supposed to be, which is a big step up and doing quite well when called upon.
Yeah.
It's just a series of, hitting hopes, really, because we can't get someone in who's going to be definitely good.
No.
And then when the system's so conservative, it's a real kind of catch-22.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, well, there's easier things coming up, I'd say. So more on that in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. You can email us bigbankpod@gmail.com, and Sam's been in touch. However bleak things have got, I'm paraphrasing, Sam's recalling not just Michael Jackson and Uri Geller and all of the bankruptcies and all of that stuff, but also the pop song that the City Squad recorded in 99, which you might be familiar with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on YouTube as the worst football song of all time, and it's not far off.
Well, there's lots of bad ones too, so that's, quite the statement.
Yeah.
Let's bring that. Why don't we... I like...
It's not a thing anymore, is it?
It's not a thing anymore. Everything's too cool and too professional, isn't it? Where it used to be all a bit ridiculous, didn't it, football and everything, and now, who could we get? Come on, local bands.
Yeah, who could we get? Wildwoodkin to do a rootsy folk number.
Josh Key on BVs.
Anyway, Sam, thanks for that reminder. Sam now lives in Budapest, so another listener abroad. Hope it's not too cold. I guess it probably is freezing, isn't it? Budapest.
Could be freezing, could be boiling.
Don't think it's boiling. And then during the gale that was going on, we had emails from a couple of people who were sheltering from the storm and listening to the Big Bang Theory podcast. So thanks to...
using up valuable battery life on their devices, which, in an emergency could be their only lifeline. And I'd like to think of a scenario where somebody cannot make that phone call to the emergency services because they've used up all their battery listening to this shit.
Well, Ollie got in touch to say he hasn't tried a pizza twist when he was sheltering from the rain, but he has had a hog roast roll. Not easy to say. And it was, direct quote, sensational.
Yeah, they do them, don't they, at the
Kenford
ground.
Farm
Yeah.
bit. So there you are. Thanks for getting in touch, everyone. If you've got other stuff to tell us, we're interested in anything, honestly, as you can tell from our podcast of the last 7 years. Get in touch. Email's the way. We've given up on all the other stuff, to be honest.
Have you got a peaked beanie?
Yeah, get in touch.
Have you got a peaked? Do you own a peaked beanie?
Are you asking me?
No, the listener.
Oh, the listener, yeah.
Do you own a peaked beanie?
Yeah.
Firstly. And
Yeah.
secondly, do you wear it now?
Yeah.
Because just before I come here, I went to get a coffee.
Yeah.
Didn't get you on today, sorry, because I was just, I was doing other things. I didn't
all
want to
good.
carry two around.
It's all good.
And there was someone in the cafe that I got this from.
Oh, yeah.
Just before I got here, wearing a peaked beanie.
Wow. Was that you, listener? bigbankpod@gmail.com.
She also had a small dog. Also, as a woman, and I think I imagine that there's very few women listening to this.
Well, I'll look at the stats.
Okay.
Tell us.
Please do. This, by the way, came about because if you didn't listen to last week's episode, Ryan Woods was wearing a cap underneath a Father Christmas hat.
Yeah, original peak beanie.
Yeah.
And when we were looking for reggae Christmas albums titles, John got in touch to come up with the excellent suggestion, The Holly and the Irie.
Yes.
That's very good, John. Credit to you. Yeah, I had a peak beanie. I tell you what I've seen a proliferation of at the football is another Instagram sale item, the beanie with the LED light in the front.
Oh, yeah. They're just normal, though, aren't they? Everyone, like, workmen wear those.
Workmen wear them.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a lot of them at the football. I guess it's just workmen at the football.
Yeah. Do you? The other one we had was from a friend of ours, Ollie, who said mistletoe and red wine.
Oh, yeah, well done, Ollie. Yeah, good one.
There's probably some other ones in that particular group chat that I haven't remembered. Sorry.
Anyway, reggae Christmas. Yeah, so
please.
tell us any of your ideas.
Turns out there is, obviously, I knew there would be, Trojan Records reggae compilation.
Yeah, Christmas compilation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it's reggae, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you like reggae? Email in if you like reggae.
Okay.
We didn't hear back from David Perkins as
No.
to whether or not he was in Extinction Rebellion.
No, we didn't hear.
So, David, your silence speaks volumes.
Yeah, I reckon he is in because they
Speaks volumes of the Anarchist's Cookbook. David Perkins, do you own a copy of the Anarchist's Cookbook?
Let us know. bigbankpod@gmail.com.
Is it illegal to own that?
I don't know. I know it's illegal to buy bomb-making ingredients off the internet, and there's a system in place that if I was to order them all off Amazon, a siren would go off and I'd get a visit.
Really?
So, so they say.
Even though each individual item presumably is innocent.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the combo.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I could believe that.
Amazon, once again, spoiling all our hopes and dreams.
A friend of mine got a phone call from ours actually got a phone call from the police at one point because he was buying too many knives off the internet.
Yeah, see, that's true.
He just had an interest in knives.
He just collects
for a
knives.
bit, collecting them. It wasn't anything sinister. But the police. So if you're,
Be careful.
the cyber police are at least to a degree on it.
Yeah, that's why I'll be getting a visit from some sort of pie interventionist group.
Probably will be, yeah. Fat camp.
Yeah, that's right. They'll be on the blower. Okay, so this Saturday, it's Barnsley at home.
Yes.
So, all right, first, tomorrow night, Tuesday, it's the now renamed Virtue Bristol Street Motors Cup nonsense.
Yeah.
And we've got Birmingham.
Yeah.
And this is the knockout now, is it? I can't keep up.
Yeah, I think this is now the knockout round, yeah.
But it's one leg, not
I mean,
two
it
legs.
says a lot, doesn't it? That the sponsorship of this tournament has changed halfway through the season.
But I think it's the same company. I think they bought out Bristol Street Motors.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Right, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I'm going to that, actually. I
Yeah.
want to see... I can't get enough of Jake Richards, and I think he's going to play.
Okay.
And if he goes, I want to get as many minutes of
Viewing.
viewing minutes as I possibly
Yeah,
can.
fair enough.
And I like having a little holiday where I sit down.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You
in
like
the,
to know. Because no one can stand up for these.
What
no
is
one
it
goes.
called now? Optimizing IT.
No, that's the new one.
Oh, what's the other one called?
Nevada Construction Stand.
Oh, yeah, I'll be sitting in the Nevada,
Yeah.
as they call it.
That's what they call it. Some goon behind me the other day was looking at the optimizing IT stand and he went, optimizing it? What does that mean? I was like, honestly, that...
Was he not trying to be funny?
No, I don't think so.
Well, whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want to optimize it.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, ask them.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably owned by Taggy or something, isn't it? Probably, I imagine.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it says optimizing JT and the end's fallen off. So Barnsley, they're not any better than us, are they?
What are they doing like this year? Weren't they in the past the kind of team we were very pleased to get any points off?
Yeah, and then they've really dropped away because they've had 3 or 4
Hang
seasons.
on, they're 8th.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they've overtaken us. It was actually only 3 points ahead of us.
They're even worse form than us, though. They've lost 4 of their last 5 and drawn the other.
Okay.
So, this is what we're talking about. I mean, they've had a similar thing to us where they've played Birmingham and Wrexham in their last... But they've also played Bristol Rovers and Reading and Wigan and not got any results there either. So, a bit of a... The form doesn't tell us the whole picture. As with any teams playing against Wrexham and Birmingham, will almost always be the case. But definitely, you got to think that we got more of a chance than we've had against the likes of, the previously mentioned teams plus Stockport.
Yeah. So they've got Keeler Dunn, haven't they, up front? He's their kind of best player, Davis Keeler Dunn.
Never heard of him.
They had Devante Cole, of course, who went 2 years ago. Keeler Dunn is their main person, I believe. And
Well, this is it.
would you call them a fallen giant, or would you just call them a lucky Premier League?
Oh, I forgot they're even in the
attendee?
Premier League. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a bigger team than they're about. I think they're about where they should be.
Yeah.
We're a little bit above where we should be. Maybe they're a tiny bit below, but
Not
you know.
much. It's not really a championship team, are they?
Nah, they're about their sort of standard League One fodder, aren't they? But
At home, I think we have a chance against everyone.
exactly, and this season, and this is a sort of, there aren't many, there's no easy games in this division. There's some easier than others, and obviously Barnsley are 8th, but this is a sort of, they're a team that are kind of around us, and this is one where, especially given that we've kind of accepted so far as supporters that, okay, we're not going to get that many results against those teams up there, because there's a lot of reasons for that, but now is the time when we need to see a little bit more, impetus.
Yep.
And a bit more, and see if we can actually come away with some points here, because we're going to start needing them pretty soon, because I think we're 6 points off the relegation zone, despite the fact that we are still 11th.
But then we're 3 points off Barnsley, who are in 8th.
Of course, yeah. But we don't want to...
We're heading down, not up.
Exactly, yeah.
No, agreed. I think at home, I mean, Wickham, I'm taking Wickham as like proof, but I think at home we feel more empowered. I don't know if it's handbrake off for Gary, or if it's that the players feel more confident, or if it's that the big bank just literally pulls the ball towards it. I don't know.
Well, I think we like I said earlier, we are a conservative tactical team, but even considering that, at home we will be slightly less conservative, So
Yeah.
I think it's just that.
It's these next 4 games, isn't it? For the rest of the month, it's Barnsley at home, which we just talked about. It's Burton away, who are just off the bottom of the league because they won at the weekend, but
Yeah.
basically bottom of the league. Then it's Bristol Rovers at home, who are hardly setting the world alight on Boxing Day, and then it's Crawley at home.
That's right. So we basically just had 4 or 5 really tough games,
Yeah.
which we didn't really expect much out of. We got 1 point. And now we've got 4 or 5 games where if we're going to kind of maintain our mid-table position and not get dragged into kind of like, the lower end of the table kind of things, we need to pick up some points here.
Yeah, because then the run is tricky again, because then it's Wickham away, Bolton at home, Peterborough was postponed for the Cup, Mansfield at home, and then Birmingham away.
Yeah.
So, you're right, this is a window of collecting some points.
Absolutely is, and kind of vital for our like I said, our maintaining that mid-table
Well, we get
status.
6 points from these 4 games, theoretically. That then puts us on 30 points, which then obviously is... I know Argyle went down on 50 one year, but 40 is really where we need to be aiming, or just over 40, isn't it, for safety?
Yeah.
And,
It's not going to take much, but it's more of a kind of... It's not a kind of...
It's a momentum
We
thing,
don't
isn't it?
literally need the points right now.
No.
But given that we got a run of more winnable games than we've just had a run of,
Yeah.
and to avoid what we had last season, which was just get into this big slump of where mentality kind of did take over to a certain extent, doesn't it? I know we needed to strengthen that squad and whatnot, and there was other reasons, but we did. The squad fell into, as well as the supporters, this kind of mindset of we're losing every week,
Yeah.
and we got to stem that quickly.
Absolutely.
And then this Saturday is really the first opportunity to do it.
Come on then, fellas.
But Mitchell's, they've got this. Mitchell could be back in there. Reece Cole
Cole
could be back in there. There's things to be, hopeful about.
we can't be far away from John Lee either, can we?
He wasn't even mentioned last week when they. So I think probably he's going to be New Year, but yeah, not that long.
Not
Because
that
we are
long.
conceding quite a lot from
Yeah.
crosses and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
aren't
yeah,
we?
yeah. Karma can't
And
do it all.
yeah,
Okay, well, that's enough of that. We'll be back, not tomorrow. We'll talk about Birmingham maybe next week, but we'll definitely talk about Barnsley.
yes,
And maybe we'll be feeling all delighted with ourselves and laughing.
oh, we'll be laughing our heads off.
Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah,
Someone who laughs a lot.
yeah.
Who's known for laughing a lot?
Who's known for laughing a lot? I don't know. I can't think of anyone.
No, I got nothing.
I got nothing.
All right. Fair enough. If you know someone who laughs a lot, bigbankpod@gmail.com.
The football is really that bad, that's the sort
Well, that's what we're looking for.
looking for, yeah.
Any footballers laugh a lot?
Probably Micah Richards.
He does laugh a lot. That's exactly right.
Okay, there you go then.
Do you love Micah Richards?
Yeah,
I do.
I
Big
yeah.
leaks.
I mean, he seems like a lovely man, yeah.
He does. Arms the size of Sweden.
Huge arms.
Yeah.
I think there's probably better football pundits out there, but...
I don't care. I don't care about all that, I just want to enjoy
No,
it.
fair enough. I totally understand that, actually, yeah. You just want to watch some people that you don't hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, fair dues. Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.